Hi guys, so in this short video I'm going to show you how to use the image trace function in Illustrator, turning a traditional drawing into a vector file in Illustrator. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my image and I'm actually going to pop it into Photoshop. And what I'm doing in Photoshop is I'm just going to change the contrast. So I'm going to make the darks dark and the lights light. Kind of to have a faded kind of image like this is a common problem when you photograph or scan images. So this is a step that a lot of you are going to have to do. Bring it into Photoshop, hit Command L on a Mac or Control L on Windows. That will bring up the levels. Now this button here, if I drag this up, this is the dark areas of the image. Bring those up, bring that contrast back up, and this is the light, so I'm going to bring that up a bit as well. Cool, I am all done. I'm going to save this. So I'm going to go to File, Save As. I'm just going to save it as a PNG. I'm going to click Save. Okay, so now we're ready to go into Illustrator. So first of all, I'm just going to click on A4. Now my image is actually in landscape. So to change this to landscape, I'm going to go to Artboard Tools, and I'm just going to click Landscape. You can also edit the size and shape of your artboard here. But yeah, we're done. We're going to drag in our image, Castle 2. I'm just going to drag that in. And I'm going to go to the artboard. And I'm just going to make sure the artboard is the same size as the image. Okay, right. So I've got my image. I want to turn it into vector shapes. I'm going to select my image. And I'm going to make sure in Windows that I've got image trace ticked, and that will bring up a window. It might be over here like how I've got it. It might appear as a little floating window. Either way, makes no difference. We're going to tick preview, and that means we can see what we're editing. So at the moment this is what is going to be traced, but we can change this. So we could have it so it just traces outlines, for example. We could change it so it does a more full tonal range. For example, this is high color. This is going to trace in color. These are just a few presets that you can play around with. So if you've got color in your image, you might want to use this. I'm just going to go back to default. I'm going to trace it like this. You can play around with the threshold. Now the threshold is how it's calculated the darks and the lights. So if it's more this end, it's going to be a more dark heavy image, or this end, a more light heavy image. And it's going to depend a bit on your drawing where you want the threshold to be. I'm going to put it sort of somewhere around the middle, roughly. Maybe slightly towards the dark end for me. Okay. You can see what path does as well. Again, it's about how it calculates line. A low path percentage is going to be much more choppy. It looks quite cool, so it depends what you want. I want to preserve the detail in my drawing, so I'm going to keep it on 100%. Again, you can play with what these features do. I'm going to click Ignore White. So that's going to make sure that the transparent areas are transparent, and it's just going to be tracing these black lines into shapes. Otherwise, it'll turn these white areas into shapes as well, which might be what you want. In my case, it's not. Okay. I am all ready, so I'm just going to go to Object, Image Trace, Expand. And that is my image. Now if I go to Layers, you can see it's grouped all of these shapes. But if I go in there, you can see that's all of the shapes of the image. There's a lot of them. I'm actually going to ungroup it because I can't really move it around or edit it very well when it's all grouped together. So I'm just going to go to Object and Ungroup. That means I can now select individual parts of the image. Because of the nature of how this is drawn, a lot of it is connected. You can see that if I zoom in, I can select individual bits of the image, move it around, change colour. Now you're going to see what's going to happen here. It's going to be annoying. I'm selecting a blue and click OK. It's not blue, it's grey, and that's because I selected black and white in mode. I can change that easily just by bringing up colour. You want to bring up colour just by going to Window, making sure that you can bring it up. I'm just going to hit this little box here, and I'm just going to go from grayscale to RGB. Now I can use colour. So yeah, you just want to convert it so it's not a grayscale image. So yeah. There you go. Okay. So have a play around, see what you can come up with. So obviously I can colour shapes, I can move shapes around by using the selection tool, I can change the shape of shapes. So if I go into my direct selection tool, double click, I can actually edit the shapes however I want. But yeah, that is how to turn a traditional scanned image into a vector project. Thanks very much.